Here we are. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for all the newcomers who have joined. Thanks for everyone who stuck around. Anyway, let's get into this. It has been some time, and I've finally charged the energy to talk about something that's bothered me for many years now, and I'm gonna share it with you. There's something I like to call filler scenes. Let me explain. Have you ever been watching a movie, particularly a horror movie, because this happens a lot in horror films? Have you ever been watching a movie and all of a sudden things kind of start to slow down? There's a little bit of tension between the two characters. They, you know it's gonna happen. And it does. And, next thing you know you go from hunting down cannibals or vampires or being chased by a guy in a mask to two people doing it. Yeah, that happens a lot. And it's really annoying when you're trying to watch a movie and this is not sufficient to the plot at all. And especially if you're watching on a cassette tape and you have to stand up while there's two naked people bumping uglies on your television screen, and you have to stand up, stand very close to them, and press the fast forward button. And either you gotta close your eyes and guess, and sometimes you fast forward too far and you miss a chunk of the plot, or you're scared to fast forward too far, so you just kind of take your time with it and you keep looking, and you basically just see the whole scene anyway, just at a faster pace, you know? So you just kind of speed run through some porn, and that's what you end up with. It's annoying, and it's pretty much why I don't watch movies anymore. I call this a filler scene. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be, like, full-on, like, doing it. They could just be making out or just be really, really naughty, you know? And it's just unnecessary. It's not cool. It's unethical. Sorry about the camera work. I'm kind of tweaking over here. Anyway, but, you know, it's really stupid. I'll give you some examples of it. There's a show I used to watch on a channel called Comet, because I don't get cable. I just watch, open air television. It's called Grimm. I don't know if any of you've seen it. It's a pretty good show. I really like the plot. You know, it follows a man who has this gift to see people in their truest form, because there's these people who they kind of anamorph into their, like, truest nature. So, like, for example, a bloodbot is like a person who at their core is a werewolf. So when they've been pushed enough to their limits, they start to get angry or whatever, or they get full in their emotions. Their face transforms and they, you know, become the creature. But only the Grimm can see it. And the Grimm is chosen through a very, you know, particular bloodline of Germans. And so it follows the guy Nick. He's a cop, and so the investigations really tie into the whole Grimm stuff. Anyway, really good show. I liked it. There's quite a few seasons of it. New characters are introduced. I liked it for a while, but it turned to crap. Not just because of the filler scenes, but also other reasons. Like, for one, I just want to point this out. This is kind of a side note. If anyone's seen Grimm or is planning on seeing it, I know this is super niche. We'll get back to the main storyline in a second. Just chill out, bro. I just wanted to add, because I never get to tell anybody this, I just wanted to add, oh my god, I sound like such a nerd. Bro, I sound like a Redditor. I apologize. I think a character is the most strong thing you can have in any story, a book, a movie, a show. You have to have a strong character or the show's gonna suck. It could be such a cool plot, something you've never heard of before. Like, you know, flying tampons in outer space come to invade a planet of wealthy tin cans. But it's gonna suck if the tampons don't have a personality, right? So, that's the story. So, Nick is the main character. Everyone else in the show has a really great character to them. They all have very unique personality traits. But Nick, the main character, talks very monotone. He has no sense of fashion, no style. He's just very basic. And there's not really any character development You know, the first season, okay, fine, right? That's okay. We usually start out with some kind of like people that just kind of gotta, come out of their shell a little bit. Not Nick. You go season after season, and the people around him change, like physically and like totally personality wise, and he's still the same. I know. We have to do this, Juliet. I don't know. It's just really annoying. Anyway, let's get back to this story. I found myself oftentimes changing the channel because just halfway through the episode, people are making out. They could be characters you've never seen before, and there's a 5-minute makeout scene, and it's not just them smacking their lips together, they're full on moaning. Bro, your clothes are on and you're in a car kissing. Why are you moaning so hard? It's like somebody was desperate. Not only was the writer probably like on some high libido stacks, but they were also just running out of ideas. And it's really sad to see something like this happen with such a good plot, such a unique show, with such unique characters and such unique episodes. Every episode is very different. It's a different kind of creature in every episode, and they all have their own backstory, and there's a different crime. But it's only a 30-minute episode. You'd think you'd be able to carry the plot smoothly for 30 minutes. It's not even a film, it's a show. And in that 30-minute time frame, you just kind of don't know how to carry the plot any other way, so you just sneak in some makeout scenes. That's what commercials are for, bro. And that's when I decided to start calling it a filler scene, because it really shows lack of creativity on the writer's part. And it's disappointing. And I find this a lot in horror films. And I get it, horror films are really meant to appeal to young people, so maybe they just need something to get off on, or maybe they just need something to relate to. Usually those kinds of people don't really mind scenes like that. But me, as an intellectual person, I like nuance. I like fascinating things. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen pretty much every decent horror film there is anyway, so that's why I don't really like slasher films, because a lot of that's just for the sake of gore and sex, and it's just unnecessary to me. My opinion on this is that there are websites for that sort of thing. There are places to go, there are ways to seek that out if you desire to see that. But if I am purchasing a movie about Jessica and her stepsister Anne, and how they move from apartment to the next apartment looking for their real father or something like that, and they fall in love with their new dog that they adopted named Harlow or something like that, why am I seeing a face full of flesh? Like, I read the back, I read the summary. Nowhere in there did it say that there was going to be anything like that. The plot is what I'm here for. I'm here for the characters and the plot, so why am I getting basically porn? It just boggles me. It ruins it for people. Not everyone is interested in that sort of thing. I think there's a time and a place for that thing. And I just personally never really saw it being very necessary. And a lot of the people I talked to also skip through those scenes. So it's really just a waste of film. It's a waste of time. And it's really sad for the actors because, they're getting paid all this money to, get naked and do it, or at least pretend to do it, which, God bless them, for only a few people to see it. And disgustingly enough, enjoy it, I guess. I don't know. It just bothers me, maybe I'm just too much of a goody two-shoes, but it's just not appropriate in my opinion. No more saying cuss words, guys! No, but seriously though, it's just weird and mind-boggling to me because we know that there are places that have that available. No shame, right? But let's separate it. Let's, make it a separate environment because I don't want to be involved in that. And I've just become so exhausting every time I thought I was in for a good movie. I come across a sex scene and it ruins the movie for me. It's like I don't even want to watch it anymore. It just ruined it for me. So I started doing some research before everyone. Okay, this sounds like a good movie. I Google it. IMPD, I think is what it's called, something like that. You can look up the Parents Guide, and it tells you because there will be movies that say rated R, and it's very vague in a description of why it's rated R. But if you look up like again, I might have the acronym wrong, but like INMPD, something like that. If you look up the Parents Guide, it gives you a more detailed description of the kinds of scenes you're into. So if you look up, I don't know, Jaws, and it'll be rated PG-13, and it'll say violence, gore, drugs and alcohol, sex and nudity. Sex and nudity, it says 3. You click on that and it describes 3 scenes that will have that. And you can kind of filter out, and then it gives context to where in the movie it is, so you can kind of know, oh, this scene's about to come up, I'll just fast forward through it. Or just decide not to watch it at all. But I found that to be very useful, but overall, I don't really watch that stuff. I just watch things that I know are gonna be safe for me. And that's okay. Don't let anybody judge you. If you're like me, don't feel bad, dude. It's okay to have morals. You shouldn't have to watch people get it on in every movie that you watch or show. There's plenty of extremely entertaining things out there. And there's nothing wrong with being a full-grown adult watching cartoons. Sometimes cartoons are the best form of entertainment. Reality TV shows aren't bad too. Yeah. I know. There's like the 16 and pregnant. Don't watch that if that makes you mad. But like there's some really good shows out there. You just gotta know what you like. And yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. Also, Lifetime movies are pretty good, The cheesy things that pop up on your YouTube shorts, usually those movies are like super cool. They're like the kinds of movies they'd show you in school, but like they're kind of corny, but also heartwarming at the same time. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for sticking around and listening. If you got anything you'd like to add to the conversation, please feel free to do so. And I'm happy to hear it. Have you ever been disgusted by a movie, and if so, which one? I won't check it out, but you can tell me about it. You guys have a good one. Bye.